Hi there, a very good evening and a very warm, loving welcome to you on this session. In this session, where we are going to talk about the last 30-day strategy. Now, I did take this session, I did record this session a few days ago, but then the trouble with the recorded session is that you and I don't get to interact in a live session, and therefore I thought that I will run you through this session in person, and along with that we will also go ahead and take up your specific issues, your specific concerns, and I'm sure you usually have quite a few things to ask. So this is all about the 24 days, the CAT 24 30-day strategy. So see, at the end of the day, when it comes to our preparation, the essence is this. The essence of the preparation is how to fill this gap. And now at this juncture, you may have a question in your mind and you'd be like, which gap? So you notice when we start our preparation, we typically have a goal to get a percentile that can take you into your dream B school. So typically for most of us, that percentile is going to be like, 99 percentile plus in the CAT exam. And when we start, chances are that we are not exactly at 99 percentile. And a lot of people that I work with, when they start off with their mocks, they typically start with what? Getting around 70 odd percentile. So maybe you're getting 70 percentile today, maybe 80, maybe 90. So at the end of the day, the goal is there is a percentile that you are at. That percentile happens to be below the level of percentile that you want. And now you want to go ahead and bridge this gap. You want to move from your current percentile to 99 percentile. Arman, Tushar, Dhairya, how are you doing? Neha, what's up? So we are at the end of the day talking about this gap between your percentile today and your target percentile. So that's what we are basically after. That's what we are essentially chasing, isn't it? So how do we fill this gap? So see, it essentially is going to depend on how large that gap is. It depends on where you stand today, right? So let us say you are somebody who's scoring around 70 percentile in the mocks at this juncture. Now, what does this indicate? 70 percentile would typically mean that chances are we have not finished our syllabus. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is we need to see how much of our syllabus is left. If you aren't left with much, let's say you're left with what, around 20% of the syllabus, 10% of the syllabus, then your first goal should be to go ahead and complete that syllabus. But then, does completing the syllabus guarantee a high score? Not really. Merely completing the syllabus means that you are aware of the area, but then if I give you any random question from that area, you may not be very comfortable answering it. So if you want to become comfortable answering every question from that area, that requires that you go ahead and move towards mastering the syllabus. And considering that we have 30 odd days left now, when it comes to mastering the syllabus, I think you would want to prioritize. So prioritize what? You are essentially going to prioritize those areas that can be termed high frequency areas in the exam. So the areas from where more questions get asked. So for example, if you're talking about quant, you know that we get a lot of questions from arithmetic and algebra and geometry. So these are obviously going to be the priority. If I talk about reading comprehension, we know that we get a lot of inference based questions. We know that if we master the main idea and tone based question, it allows us to become faster and more accurate, not only in these two question types, but even in these other question types that get asked. So even though these two question types may not get asked directly, the skills that you build to answer these, they definitely lead you to a situation where you are even otherwise more accurate. Okay, so that's going to be your priority order in that sense. Arman has a question. Sir, attempting sectional mocks, I'm assuming it's sectional, on a frequent basis is better, or attempting full mocks twice a mock is better? Okay, so why do we write the mocks at all? So why do we write the mocks? I think the primary purpose of writing the mocks is to gauge our preparation. So in a way, the way I think of it is that, writing a test is like standing in front of a mirror. So if you, let us say, go ahead and attempt just one RC passage, even that's standing in front of a mirror. You sit down and attempt 4 RC passages in one go, even better. It basically means that your mirror is high fidelity, HD mirror, and it points out the flaws better. So once you stand in front of a mirror, it tells you what needs to be fixed. Right? Every mistake is a feedback. It tells us those things that are still missing in our arsenal, still missing in a repertoire. And if we go ahead and acquire those things, we can definitely become better. So to that extent, if I look at it just from the perspective of a mirror, there is no difference between a sectional test and a full-length mock test. So you write a sectional, you write an iCat, no difference. But that said, there is this secondary purpose that we have as well. We want to build our test taking stamina, and we want to refine our test taking strategy. So when it comes to these two things, mocks are definitely superior to the sectionals. So at this juncture, considering that we are barely a month away from the exam, at this juncture, because test taking stamina and test taking strategies are also an important element of the process, I would be a little partial to the iCats. I would want you to go ahead and attempt more of these mocks. And if you are already an iQuanta student, you know that we're bringing a lot of mocks to you. In case you are not an iQuanta student, but you want to access our mocks, I think I was talking to somebody in the marketing team and they told me that they are running a very sweet discount at this juncture. So go ahead, buy the test series at a fraction of an original price, and you can actually get access to a lot of high quality mocks, plus AI analysis, video solutions, all that shebang. So at this juncture, iCats before that. Then Dhairya says, me back after काफी दिनों बाद. It's good to see you, man. Then बहुत ही ज्यादा डर लग रहा है सर प्रत्युष आज ही. मैं तुझे बताऊं, इतने लोगों ने मुझे बोला है ना, डर लग रहा है, चिंता हो रही है, नर्वस हो रहे हैं, कि मुझे लगा यार ये तो बहुत सारे लोगों को ज़रूरत है इस चीज़ की. तो मैं आज ही ना, अभी 2 घंटे पहले यार मैंने एक वीडियो रिकॉर्ड किया है. अब पता, अभी तक मेरे ख्याल से अपने चैनल पे अपलोड हुआ नहीं होगा. मैं चेक कर लूँगा सेशन के बाद. अगर आज अपलोड नहीं हुआ तो डेफिनेटली कल अपलोड हो जाएगा. ओके, सो उसको देखना. छोटा सा वीडियो है, मतलब ऐसा कुछ नहीं, 5-6 मिनट का वीडियो बना, वेयर आई आंसर्ड दिस रादर थरली. So don't forget to watch that. Neha, sir, I'm able to understand the idea behind the passage, but still I always end up choosing the wrong answer. Please suggest something. Neha, first up, let us accept that if we are getting the question wrong, then we were not able to understand that part of the passage which was relevant for the question. है ना, देखो ऐसा हो ही नहीं सकता ना कि क्वेश्चन को आंसर करने के लिए जो चीज़ें या जो इंग्रेडिएंट्स चाहिए वो हम में हो और हम आंसर ना कर पाए. ऐसा रेयर होगा रेयर होगा. तो ऐसा नहीं है. सो एक्सेप्ट दैट फीडबैक एंड देन वर्क ऑन इट. नाउ इफ दैट क्वेश्चन, इट्स अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कैविएट, if that question is a comprehension based question, then I can tell you that we may not have understood the relevant part. If it is not a comprehension based question but some other variety, then it may not be comprehension, then it is probably something else. Let's say the question asks you to weaken the argument and you don't know how to. So even if you've understood the passage, you may not be able to arrive at the right answer. तो वो थोड़ा देख लेना, ठीक है. साहिल अच्छा ये किसको मिस कर गया यार मैं. साहिल दास गुप्ता सर, एज पर यू विच इज़ द बेस्ट वे ऑफ सॉल्विंग बीआरसी 3 RCs दिस. साहिल मैंने इस पे एक डिटेल्ड वीडियो बनाया इसी चैनल पे. द वीडियो इज अवेलेबल ऑन दिस चैनल वेयर आई हैव टॉक्ड अबाउट हाउ आई अप्रोच द सेक्शन and why. Now in the video too I have said this, that you need not follow my strategy, but I tell you my reasons. So similarly you need to discover your reasons, what works great for you, and that's where sectional tests can be really good. When you want to experiment with a new test taking strategy, go through, burn a couple of sectional tests and see how it works, and then apply it to a mock, and hopefully you'll have some answer. Tinisha, sir, is the vocab in CAT tough? Tinisha, we don't really get direct vocabulary based questions, but vocabulary does play indirect role in the CAT exam, where it can help us increase our level of comprehension. So to that extent, some role, yes, but not a big dominant role. Prashant, sir, I'm scoring in between 35 to 45 every mock. I want to give it one final push, take it to 50. What things should I keep in mind? Now, Prashant, let's go ahead and talk about this in a little while from now. I've already made a separate video where I've talked about how you can increase your VARC scores. Okay, but if you are at 70 percentile, complete the syllabus, master the syllabus, and then continue to write the iCats, because standing in front of a mirror is important. So at this juncture, these are going to be really important. But now let us say you are somebody who's not at 70 percentile, you are already consistently somewhere around 90 percentile. So if you are at 90 percentile and you want to move to the next level, so now Prashant, why I said I'll answer this. So when you say you're at 35-40, this is around the place where you are at this juncture. Maybe between 85-90. So this basically tells me that you have gone through the syllabus thoroughly, right? तो अब syllabus तो हो गया आपका. So syllabus की अपने को अब चिंता नहीं है. तो अभी क्या करना है? You need to master things, but which things? Since you are at 90 percentile, chances are that you've already mastered quite a few things as well. So अब ना 90 percentile के आसपास आके क्या challenge हो जाता है, आप ज़्यादातर चीज़ें तो ठीक कर रहे हैं, थोड़ी सी चीज़ें हैं जिनमें गड़बड़ है. So how do we identify what those थोड़ी सी चीज़ें are? How do we figure out which are those things that we are still consistently making a mistake? In order to figure that out, the easiest solution is increase the absolute number of mistakes. Now imagine if I look at my last 7 days of CAT preparation and I realized that in the last week I've made 20 mistakes, 20 errors, 20 questions wrong across all the areas, then that may not give you enough of a number to figure out some underlying trend. But if you increase these 20 errors to 50 errors, now that will give you a trend. So how do you increase the number of errors? The easy way out is जानबूझ के गलत करने शुरू कर दो ताकि 50 हो जाए. But नहीं, you obviously don't want to do that. So if you want to increase the number of errors, you need to increase the number of questions that you attempt. So you want to increase the frequency of iCats as well as the section tests. So increase the frequency of iCats. So start writing more iCats, start writing more section tests, and those things are going to be quite useful for us, right? So that's one. Now, once you have taken or once you've attempted an iCat, you would want to sit down and analyze your performance thoroughly. So when it comes to my analyzing my performance, I typically say that, okay, let's say in VARC, okay, we have 24 questions. Now, out of these 24, let us say that I attempted 19 and I could not attempt 5. And out of these 19, I got, let us say 15 right and 4 wrong. So my level 1 is, why could I not attempt these 5 questions? There can be only 2 reasons. The reason could be, I ran out of time. and that is why I could not attempt those. And the reason could be that I did not know how to answer them. Right? So when you say I ran out of time, that very clearly is a speed issue, and also you need to increase your speed, or it can at times even be a it can even be a question selection issue. Hey, what if you become better at selecting questions? What if you stop wasting time at the questions that you generally don't get right? Or that are generally more time consuming? Maybe that itself can help. So look at increasing your speed. Look at your question selection. So these two areas can help you. And on the other hand, if you say, I did not know how to answer these questions, then it very clearly points to developing the ability, working towards getting the competencies required to answer those questions. So solution mil raha na. And similarly, there are these questions that you got wrong. Why did you get them wrong? What went wrong here? What is the key takeaway for you? What did you learn from that mistake? So that key takeaway will tell you what you need to do moving forward. And the last thing that I focus on then is these 15 that I got right. I go through all the 15 and I ask myself, wait, is there a question that I guessed and that guess turned out to be right? Because if I guessed, then there is no guarantee that I will be able to get that same question type correct in the next mock too. So the questions that you guessed and got right, they are also the ones where you want to figure out, why did I need to guess? Why did I not know it? Or why could I not answer it with confidence? Okay. And on the basis of that analysis, you'd know what kind of action you need to take. And then third and last, I've already talked about it, but you may also need to improve your question selection. Okay. So how do we improve question selection? So let us see. You know that you want to go from easy questions to difficult questions. You know that you want to start with less time consuming questions and then move towards more time consuming questions, right? So how do I really decide it? So when I look at my preparation, I have a chart. This chart has 3 columns. There is a column that lists all those areas that are my areas of comfort. So these are areas where my accuracy rate is above 70%, preferably above 80%. And then I also have my areas of discomfort. These are those areas where my accuracy rate is like, below 40%. So in the exam, I know that the moment I get a question from my area of discomfort, I need to leave it. I know I can't solve it. And I definitely want to attempt my areas of comfort. But then you also have these in-between questions where your accuracy rate hovers around 50%. These questions are time suckers. These are questions that you look at and then you're like, should I attempt? Should I not attempt? And you almost invariably go on to attempt these. But then you don't get them right all that frequently. So they waste your time. It takes you longer. You also end up getting only around 50% of these right. So make sure that you avoid these while attempting the exam. Between one iCat and another, you can pick up one topic which belongs to this particular column and shift it to your area of comfort. So in the next iCat, you may start attempting it, but on the date of the iCat or the actual exam, you need to be very clear about your areas of comfort, your areas of discomfort and in-betweens. So for the purpose of attempting the areas of discomfort, these 50% accuracy questions are your areas of discomfort. अपने को हाथ लगाना ही नहीं है इन सवालों को जब तक अपने कंफर्ट वाले एरिया के सारे सवाल हो नहीं जाते, तब तक छेड़ना ही नहीं है हमें इनको. ठीक है, तो इससे अपने आप थोड़ी एक्यूरेसी, थोड़े मार्क्स दोनों बढ़ जाएंगे. सो बिफोर आई टेक यू ओवर टू द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड, लेट मी टेक अप सम क्वेश्चंस. लेट मी गो अहेड, टॉक टू यू एंड देन वील सी. अरे खूब सारे मैसेज. हर्षित सर, अगर बीच पैसेज में ऐसा लगने लगे कि कुछ भूल गए, ओवरव्यू नहीं आ पा रहा, तब क्या करें? हर्षित, अगर ये ज्यादातर पैसेजेस में हो रहा है तो मतलब ओवरव्यू वाली एबिलिटी नहीं है, उस पर काम करो यार। हाँ, और अगर ये बीच बीच में किसी किसी पैसेज में होता है तो इसका बेसिकली मतलब ये है कि यार गलत पैसेज पिक कर लिया, फमिलैरिटी नहीं है या लैंग्वेज थोड़ी डिफिकल्ट हो रही है, उस केस में लीव आउट, मूव आउट। ये 10-15 सेकेंड में पता चल जाएगा, यू कैन मूव आउट देन। सुशांत, इन सेक्शनल्स माई स्कोर इज ऑलवेज अबव 20 बट फुल में क्या होता है पता नहीं। सुशांत, पता है तुम्हें यार, ध्यान दोगे पता चलेगा। कल्याणी, अरे क्वाइट अ फ्यू डेज, हाँ कल्याणी, getting 85 percentile plus percentile in sectionals. Now Kalyani, you notice that you've switched the units. So for sectionals you're giving me your percentile, for mocks you're giving me your marks. So Kalyani, in case you're not able to analyze, you notice we already have an AI driven analysis that can give you some valuable pointers. Otherwise, let's just sit down again, say tomorrow. I'll just try and see if I can take out some time tomorrow. Maybe we guys can sit down and practice a few questions. Plus, I can perhaps, let's conduct this session on Zoom. Then I can go ahead and talk about how we can maybe, two-way communication can be then easier for it. Tinisha, sir, tough vocab is understandable largely due to context but becomes tough when new words. Tinisha, that's exactly what tough vocab is. No, you do not know the meaning of a word, it is tough. So वो जैसे जैसे vocabulary पे काम करोगे वो चीज़ कम होती जाएगी, but it's more a game of probabilities. Basu, sir, every time while choosing options, I get stuck between two, end up choosing the wrong answer. Basu, can you tell me the question type in which it happens? Varun, are we talking about 90 percentile iQuanta mocks? Varun, 90 percentile, हाँ, मतलब around that score. अभी तो iQuanta के mocks की बात ही हो रही है, या कहीं भी mocks दे रहे हो यार, जहाँ भी mocks दे रहे हो, अगर 90 percentile पे हो तो यही strategy काम आएगी. I've given 4 sectionals, got 25 average in VARC. There is some scope of improvement here. You can, Akshay, in the next 30 days, even if you can start getting 2 questions consistently right, you'd get a reasonably, like a pretty good score in English. If you can start getting 3 to 4 additional questions right, man, that'll be amazing. Okay, and you can watch my video on how to increase the score in VARC. I recorded it a couple of weeks ago, so whatever there is, it's still going to be relevant for you. They'll give you a much detailed, very thorough answer. Choosing RC is the best thing to do. Saila, Akshay, absolutely yes. Sir, which iCat sectional mock you've given the solution and analyzed? All of them, Akshay. I think I joined iQuanta some 4 odd months ago. I may not have recorded the solutions for the first 3-4 mocks, but thereafter I am the one who's doing it for every single mock. There you crash course, good pace, rewatching. Huh, there, that will work, yaar. Absolutely sounds fine. Whoa, सुजल, आई कैन अंडरस्टैंड यार, दे ना, मतलब मैं क्या बताऊँ यार, मैंने अभी इसके बारे में बात की थी अपनी वो VARC पे वार्ता 3 में, कि होता है यार ये मॉक्स में ना, एक आध मॉक ऐसा गंदा निकलता है कि दिल टूट जाता है यार, लगने लग जाता है, मतलब अपनी अपनी एबिलिटी पे ना सवाल खड़े कर देता है वो. बट ये नॉर्मल है, इट इज़ पार्ट ऑफ द प्रोसेस. आई एम श्योर यू डू रियली वेल. हर्षित, एब्सोल्युटली डन. जितना खाली टाइम है तुम लोगों के लिए यार, उसी में जाएगा आप. Stabilize my score 25 to 30. Srirag, please watch the video that I've already recorded. They'll give you a much thorough answer. Live class लीजिए और सेशन भी डन. हर्षित, एब्सोल्युटली वो प्रैक्टिस बढ़ा देंगे. जानवी, जानवी देखो, अगर क्वेश्चंस नहीं हो पा रहे तो उस क्वेश्चन को आंसर करने के लिए जो एबिलिटी है वो नहीं है. वो कॉम्प्रहेंशन हो सकती है, वो कोई और चीज़ हो सकती है, बट उस एबिलिटी पे काम करना है, करेंगे तो हो जाएगा. ओके, विद दैट लेट अस मूव ओवर टू आवर next set of people. If you are scoring 99 percentile in mocks, तो क्या करें? तो कुछ मत करो, तुम बस मिठाई का ऑर्डर बुक करो और जरा मेरा एड्रेस नोट करना, जरा लिखो. बट नहीं यार, स्लैक नहीं है ना, वी कैन नॉट रियली अफोर्ड टू स्लैक. जितना भी अच्छा स्कोर आ रहा हो, अपन कभी भी उसको कैजुअली नहीं लेंगे, कभी भी उसे फॉर ग्रांटेड नहीं लेंगे. सो प्लीज़ मेक श्योर दैट यू कंटिन्यू टू राइट द iCats. In fact, you can, if possible, increase the frequency even further. है ना? तो अभी तक मान लो तुम 2 मॉक्स दे रहे हो हफ्ते में, तो अब 3 मॉक्स का टारगेट कर लो. वो that idea about increasing the absolute number of errors, that's going to be very useful to you as well. And thereafter, I think at this juncture you would want to shift your attention towards finalizing your test taking strategy. When I say test taking strategy, I'm not talking about one specific tactics that you're going to use. I'm saying that you have already gone through quite a few mocks now, which basically means that you've encountered you've encountered sections of different difficulty levels. तो अब ना वो दिमाग में थोड़ा सेंस बनने लग जाता है कि जब ये डिफिकल्टी लेवल होता है तो इतने स्कोर पे इतना परसेंटाइल आ जाता है, right? So just start linking the percentile with your judgment on the difficulty level of that section, so that in the actual CAT exam you are able to read the section correctly and alter your targets accordingly, right? बहुत लोग ना वो रिजिड स्ट्रैटेजी लेके जाते हैं, यार मैं ना VRC में 18 क्वेश्चंस करूंगा, भाई पेपर डिफिकल्ट आ गया तो now if you try to push for 18 you will end up making more mistakes, and that would mean that you actually harm your chances. On the other hand, if it is an easy section, you would want to probably add a couple of more questions to that list. So वो flexibility, वो थोड़ी समझ है ना, उन चीज़ों के साथ थोड़ा अब आपको relate करना है. और इसके अलावा एक टिप और दूंगा, अभी CAT के admit cards आ जाएंगे. Once the admit cards are out, you will know your slot. You will know the slot in which you are supposed to appear for the exam. How about writing your iCats at the same time? So if you do that, imagine out of next 30 days, there have been 16 days when you sat down and wrote the exam at that same time. Your brain will automatically gear up for kicking into the exam zone at that particular time. And if you do that, I'm sure that can help you a lot. And once again, मैंने आज बहुत अच्छा थोड़े और questions लेता हूँ and then we'll move on. अच्छा 50 percentile, कल्याणी 50 percentile अगर क्रॉस नहीं हो रहे मॉक्स में पर सेक्शनल्स में हो रहे हैं, तो ये बेसिकली इफ़ यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट वर्बल, तो वर्बल में ये दिखाता है कि हमारा जो कॉम्प्रिहेंशन वाली एबिलिटी है और जो क्रिटिकल रीजनिंग है ये थोड़े अंडर डेवलप्ड है. सो मेक श्योर दैट यू मेक इट अ पॉइंट टू रीड एवरी डे. मेक श्योर दैट यू फोकस ऑन क्रिटिकल रीजनिंग एंड गो थ्रू एट लीस्ट, if not more, at least some 120, 130 critical reasoning questions. So let's put a round figure, at least 100 critical reasoning questions before the CAT. Okay, so maybe you can start from there. Shreyasi. Okay. Shreyasi, there can be multiple reasons behind it. अभी एक दो दिन में ना एक Zoom पे session रखते हैं where we have two-way audio and video. Okay, so let's just see, बात करके देखेंगे क्या हुआ. There, yeah, thank you man, I'm glad that it helped. Mohammed Tai, please make YT videos on types of questions and tricks. Good idea, done. 2-3 दिन के अंदर कर देते हैं ये, ठीक है. Could you help to encounter and solve history passages, mainly war ones? Akshay, since you've identified the genre as a problem, you know that it is going to be an issue of familiarity, right? तो familiarity पे काम करना है. हिस्ट्री पे विल ड्यूरेंट करके, विल ड्यूरेंट इज DURANDT, सर्च करो, इसकी एक किताब आ जाएगी. इसने एक बहुत बड़ा सा चीज़ लिखी थी जो थोड़ी सी ओल्ड इंग्लिश में, थोड़ी सी मतलब ओल्ड इंग्लिश नहीं कि 16th सेंचुरी वाली, ऐसी कि 30-40 साल पुरानी, तो वो थोड़ा चैलेंज वाला लेवल भी मिल जाएगा तुमको. सो मे बी यू कैन डाउनलोड वन ऑफ दोज बुक्स एंड स्टार्ट रीडिंग अ बिट ऑफ इट एवरी डे. ओके, सुजल पक्का. सर डर लगता है अच्छे होने के बाद भी, यहाँ होने के बाद भी, कि उस दिन ना बिगाड़ दे. हर्षित, मैंने इसीलिए ना आज एक वीडियो रिकॉर्ड किया है. मैंने देखा नहीं यार अभी के टीम ने अपलोड किया नहीं किया. आज नहीं हुआ तो कल पक्का से अपलोड होगा, देखना. 5-6 मिनट वर्थ इट है. सिद्धांशु मैं ही बता देता हूँ यार, ज़्यादातर लोग जो है वो करियर लॉन्चर और के वाले मॉक्स और सिम कैट्स दे रहे हैं। अरे अक्षय, अबे मतलब मैं वो वाले सवाल रिपीट नहीं कर सकता हूँ इस साल, मुझे प्रैक्टिस में नए सवाल लाने पड़ेंगे यार, तुमने फंसा दिया मुझे। हाँ। Ansh, you've tried to find pattern, but there is no pattern. Ansh, if there is no pattern, then tell me your accuracy rate and then we can probably come up with a plan. And throughout this session, I've repeatedly asked you to write the ICATs or the sectional tests. So मैंने अभी टीम से लेकर के करा है ये. So अगर मॉक्स देने नहीं शुरू किए हैं या कम दे रहे हो, कम पढ़ रहे हैं, तो भाई दे दो. Here is the pricing. I just asked them to share it with me. मल्टीटास्किंग कर रहा था मैं. So you can definitely get access to a lot of high quality mocks and they will help you immensely. Apart from that, you'll also get access to sectional tests, so plenty of it for you, right? तो हर्षित बोल रहा है किस टॉपिक पे लेंगे यार. देखो क्रिटिकल रीजनिंग अभी 2-3 जो ऑफ द बैट मुझे पता है मैं लेना चाह रहा हूँ. क्रिटिकल रीजनिंग पे एक बैठ करके थोड़े से सवाल सॉल्व कर लेंगे साथ में. इसके अलावा कुछ लोग वो थीम ऑफ द पैराग्राफ की आइडेंटिफिकेशन में गड़बड़ कर रहे थे, इसलिए उनका ऑड वन आउट गलत हो रहा था, तो थीम वाले पे एक सेशन. सो दीज सेशंस में नॉट बी लाइक फुल फ्लेजेड सेशंस. वो प्रैक्टिस में ज़रूरी नहीं है ना कि बैठ करके 1-2 घंटा काम करें, वो जितनी भी देर कर पाए. सो even if I'm able to, let's say, take out 20-25 minute worth of material, and I would love to sit down with you without a delay. हाँ, तो छोटा बड़ा जितना भी हो पाएगा कोशिश करेंगे यार, ज़्यादा टाइम बिताए. ओके अंश 50 to 75%. अंश आरसी में मेन आइडिया क्वेश्चंस पे फोकस करो. हाँ, सो मतलब अभी मैं ऑर्डर दे रहा हूँ, ऑर्डर एज इन सीक्वेंस, नॉट ऑर्डर वाला ऑर्डर नहीं है ये. हाँ, पैरा समरी स्टेबलाइज करो. पैरा समरी गिव इट अ वीक. ओके, पैरा समरी के बाद मेन आइडिया क्वेश्चन पे काम करना. ठीक है, इन दोनों के साथ इन पैरेलल आपको क्रिटिकल रीजनिंग चलाना है, जिसमें आप इन्फरेंस और अजम्पशंस ये 2 क्वेश्चन टाइप्स मास्टर करना चाहेंगे. और जब ये हो जाएंगे तो उसके बाद फिर यहाँ पे हम पैराजम्बल्स पे आ जाएंगे. हाँ, पैराजम्बल्स उसके साथ ऑड वन आउट उस पे आएंगे, फिर देखेंगे. सो कोशिश करते हैं, देखते हैं, कुछ ना कुछ तो पता चलेगा. अक्षय, एब्सोल्युटली यार, डू यू हैव अ स्कोप फॉर इंप्रूवमेंट? वी ऑलवेज हैव अ स्कोप फॉर इंप्रूवमेंट. Until you get 100%, yes, there is always going to be a scope for improvement यार. हर्षित, हाँ वो जो वीडियो है ना मैंने आज रिकॉर्ड किया है 2-1 घंटा पहले, तो वो इसी पे. कुछ लोग जो बोल रहे हैं ना वो यार थोड़ा डर लग रहा है, पता नहीं क्या होएगा क्या नहीं होएगा. सो आई हैव गिवन अ basic technique that I've told you where it comes from and how you can fix it. It's actually a very easy fix, frankly. शेर हो यार तुम, भूल जाते हो तुमको ना थोड़े थोड़े दिनों में याद करवाना पड़ता है कि कर लोगे तुम. हाँ, तो बस वो याद करवा रहा हूँ उस वीडियो में तुम्हें, है तुम में वो बात, कर लोगे. हाँ, तो आज सो हियर आर 5 क्विक टिप्स दैट आई देन लीव यू विद. ओके, सो स्टे फोकस्ड. 30 दिन की बात है. तुम्हें पता है ज़्यादातर एक्सीडेंट्स तब होते हैं जब आप अपनी मंजिल के पास पहुंच चुके होते हैं. Majority of the accidents happen when you are about to reach your destination, because then you relax. So don't relax. Stay focused, keep working hard. Then the easiest way to stay focused is to use a to-do list. Every night before you go to sleep, write down what all you plan to do the next day. That easily makes it smoother for you to stick to more. But then less is more. So अब ना जब आप पेपर के इतना पास आ चुके हैं तो बहुत ज़्यादा चीज़ों में हाथ डालने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. ओके, डू नॉट गो ओवरबोर्ड इन योर प्रेपरेशन. दिस इज अ टाइम वेर यूड फोकस मोर ऑन रिविजन, फोकस मोर ऑन टेकिंग केयर ऑफ दोज पैटर्न्स विच आर स्टिल लीडिंग टू मिस्टेक्स. So basically continue to work on the feedback that you receive from the mocks, especially in those areas which are high frequency. उसके अलावा बाकी बहुत ज़्यादा चीज़ों पे कोई ज़्यादा बॉदर करने की ज़रूरत है नहीं. हाँ, तो unnecessarily don't spread yourself thin. See, the idea is in the next 30 days, if you are working on each one of these 3 sections, and your 30-day preparation leads to your getting even 2 additional questions right in every section, that's 18 more marks for us, and there'll be a huge jump for us. So वो बिल्कुल but लेजर शार्प रहना पड़ेगा कि मैं क्या पढ़ूंगा जिससे ये वाले जिससे ये 2 एक्स्ट्रा क्वेश्चन सही होने लग जाए, right? So focus on that, and then I think it's the fourth thing is more of a reminder. In case you are not taking care of these things, then please make sure that you take care of these things. Okay, and apart from that, don't forget to work on the mental aspects. Year after year I see 2 people who are equally well prepared. मॉक्स में बिल्कुल नेक टू नेक चल रहे थे, एक्चुअल पेपर देकर के आते हैं, उनके रिजल्ट्स डिफरेंट हो जाते हैं. वो डिफरेंट क्यों होते हैं? 2 फैक्टर्स: टाइम मैनेजमेंट ड्यूरिंग द एग्जाम एंड देयर एबिलिटी टू हैंडल प्रेशर in that exam situation. So do work on these things as well if they affect you. So उस पे एक छोटा सा वीडियो मैंने बनाया है, कुछ बीच में और भी बातें की हैं, कुछ और. if you're facing some specific issue, do let me know and I can go ahead and tell you more. Okay, वो इस चैनल पे हो, जूम सेशन में हो, यूट्यूब शॉर्ट में हो, इंस्टाग्राम स्टोरी में हो, हमारी कहीं ना कहीं तुम्हारे कंसर्न्स को एड्रेस मैं कर ही दूंगा. Okay, so that's it from me today. I look forward to meeting you guys in our next session, and in case you are new here, hey, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. और इसके अलावा हमारा फेसबुक ग्रुप है यार एक, अगर तुम iQuanta के स्टूडेंट नहीं हो तो उसे ज्वाइन कर लो. बीच में अगर मैं ऐसा कोई भी प्रैक्टिस सेशन लूँगा जो ओपन होगा, हाँ, तो अगर वो यूट्यूब पे नहीं है, जूम वाला है, तो फिर मैं वहाँ पे उसका लिंक शेयर कर दूंगा. सो इफ़ यू आर देयर इन दैट ग्रुप, then you'd get the notifications automatically. Akshay says, sir, I struggle before sleeping. Okay, try this. Take this supplement at 7:30 p.m. every day. ठीक है. चैंप के टू डू लिस्ट, अरे टू डू लिस्ट में हम लिखते हैं कि कल क्या करना है. अब जैसे कल है संडे, तो भाई कल मेरे कुछ दिवाली पास में आने वाली है, तो मुझे ना 2 दोस्तों के घर जाना है, लिख रखा है मैंने एक सीरीज शुरू की थी भाई नेटफ्लिक्स पे, 3 बॉडी प्रॉब्लम. मुझे ना अब याद भी नहीं आ रहा है कि मैंने उसका लास्ट एपिसोड कौन सा देखा था, उसमें क्या था. तो कल ना मैं उसका एक एपिसोड देखने वाला हूँ. उसके अलावा मैं कॉर्सेरा पे एक कोर्स कर रहा हूँ, उसका वीक 3 आधा खत्म करना है मुझे. So ये वो चीजें जो मैं कल कर रहा हूँ, और भी चीजें हैं ऐसी that I've gone on to write. So whatever you plan to do tomorrow, so see, it is not exclusively a plan of your studies. It's a plan of your day. Write it down, and then if you face some issue, some specific concern, I'd love to help you. Right? Chale then. That's it for today. I look forward to meeting you once again in our next session. Until then, stay safe, stay focused, stay in touch, and keep working hard. I'll see you pretty soon. Have a nice evening. सो जाओ टाइम पे जाकर के आज, ठीक है? करो ट्राई, पता चले पेपर सुबह के स्लॉट में आ गया और यहाँ 12 बजे उठने की आदत पड़ी हुई हमें. हाँ, तो सुधार लो.